Kia ora. Welcome to New Year's Day 2023 in Central Time, at least here in the States. Just taking advantage of dogs napping to do my first ramble for the new year, I guess. Hope everybody had a safe transition and had a good time at the very least. My own was very quiet. I went to bed early and quite honestly just kind of slept through it, so there you go. You'd think it's tropical today. I've got like all the doors and windows open inside the camper and it's still 73 degrees inside, which is, I guess it's because there's not a lot of breeze here at the moment. You can kind of see behind me there's like, beautiful blue sky, bit of cloud, but not really a lot kind of going on. So I was watching Ryan Yall on YouTube, and he was talking about yet another possible storm convergence coming through. So who knows, we'll just have to wait and see. But the thing that it is definitely happening is we've got a bit of a weird record temperatures type situation now, given that we were like record temperatures in the negatives the other way not that long ago around Christmas. It's hardly surprising, but anyway. I don't want to ramble on too much today. I've got some stuff that needs to get done. Dawn's coming back from Ohio and she'll be here very soon, and I'd like her to think that at least I'd been doing something while she was gone. Just make this stuff up as I go. My thoughts for the new year, I don't do resolutions. If you do, good on you. You do you, as always. A phrase that you'll probably hear a lot in 2023. But I wanted to kick off this ramble with just some thoughts for the year that's coming up in front of us. And this is, taking life events and things out of the loop for this particular conversation. I think it's fair to say that we're going to go into 2023. And again, just for context, I am an optimist, but you have to temper optimism with a dash of practicality and reality, I guess. So this is really one of those things that you may already be aware of, or maybe you're not, but you really should be thinking about. And I guess number one on the list is probably inflation. I'm not sure what the exact numbers are at the moment. I don't think anybody really probably knows. If you listen to the mainstream media, you'll get the official political numbers for expediency, which are in double digits, by the way. So that isn't good right out of the gate. But for this exercise, I'm going to say they're around about 10-11%. I think it's actually more like 12, but. Anyway, and then you'll get the high-end expectations from the fearmongers and the so-called pundits who are really out there trying to see what's actually going on. And I think realistically you could probably add 4 or 5% to that easily. So they're probably going to come in around 15-16%. And then as I've often said, somewhere in the middle is the truth. But even then, it's not actually looking pretty if it's even 1 or 2% more than. Or 2 or 3% more than what we're kind of being told at any time. We're going to be in for a pretty rough ride for inflationary purposes. And I know that we've already been feeling this throughout 2022 and certainly 2021, and people have gone through the pandemic and come out the other side and gone, phew, well that happened, and now life will be fantastic again. I think the lesson there is, if you haven't already started, you really need to start planning. Start tightening your belt. Start watching those purse strings. And don't go frugal doogle and go so tight as you don't actually have a life, because life is worth living. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You drop dead or whatever, who knows, but live each day and all that. But just just be sensible is where I'm going with this, and just keep an eye on things and be aware that what you get told is probably not actually how bad it really is, and how bad it really is something you probably will never know, but you can pretty much assume that what you get told, you can add some more on top of that, and that's probably closer to where things are. And I know we're seeing it in the housing markets and stuff like that as well, so there's that. And for those who don't think I know what I'm talking about, I buried my mistakes in the last major recession. We did not handle that well. My partner did not handle it well. So just when you think things are bad, things can always get worse, just saying. Anywho, the other thing is more around geopolitics. You don't hear a lot of talk about the situation that's going on in Ukraine at the moment. It was all over the news, and then suddenly it's not. But be assured, it's still going on. Very much still going on. And there's still a lot of crazy happening at a high political level from all major parties, including us, whether by our proxy or directly, whether by actual physical boots on the ground or presence on the ground, or whether it's words, money being sent over and all that kind of stuff. You'll see the geopolitical posturing from various other nations. I just saw this morning that North Korea has decided they're going to exponentially increase their nuclear arsenal, so Kim is being Kim again, I guess. But the the moves around Taiwan, some stuff that's happening around the Middle East, and you just have to kind of keep an eye on stuff, really. And again, bear in mind that a lot of the skew you get from mainstream media is skewed, but then again you get a lot of skew from the other side too, so somewhere in the middle is the truth. Finding that is always a challenge, but if you're not really interested in that kind of thing, and I don't blame you, it's more a case of just being aware again that the stuff is happening, and there are multiple flashpoints right now, and if things do go the wrong way, it could go pretty quick. So again, preparedness. 2023, if you haven't done it, then you need to really start doing it, in my opinion. So there's that. We're about to here in the United States, the House is about to move to the right. We'll move to the Republicans, so I won't say move to the right, but that'll make for an interesting year in terms of our current administration being able to push stuff through. They technically have a majority in the Senate, but at least one senator has actually left the Democratic Party and moved independent, and if the rumours do actually prove true, there could be a second one following as well. That lends itself to a situation where you have a couple of people basically kind of holding the rest of the Senate to ransom, and we see this a lot in New Zealand politics, where you have to make a coalition because no one political party has sufficient seats to actually outright win. They have to form the coalition, and the coalition is usually with a very minor party, and it usually has a couple of items on their agenda, but they feel very strongly about it. So we may have a situation like that. I don't know, but again, if you're here in the United States, something to be aware of. There's a lot of stuff that gets pushed through that doesn't get talked about, because it tends to piggyback various other bills, and then next thing you know, it's signed over as part of a package which has nothing to do with it. This has been going on for a while, so I don't see that's really going to stop. If anything, it'll probably accelerate. But again, just another thing to be aware of. And the last thing is, to finish this particular ramble is think about where you want to be in a few years' time. There's nothing to do with geopolitics or politics or inflation or anything like that. This is just more of a transition to a new year, time for change, time for reflection. Not resolutions, just maybe spend some time thinking about, sorry, the dog's going off, some time thinking about where you want to be in a few years. And again, if you haven't taken steps towards that goal, that carrot, then maybe this is the year that you should. And you know, planning the journey is one thing. Doing things on paper, or you know, just really making things kind of work is one. From a theoretical sense is one thing, but actually taking that first step and actually starting along the journey is something completely different. And the only thing I can really say is that once you've sort of set your path and you've started along it, it gets a lot easier. The road becomes clearer, shall we say. You may take some turns and meander from time to time, but ultimately you'll get there. Anyway, that's a little longer than I was expecting. Thank you very much for listening. If you have been listening, I will probably continue to ramble throughout the new year. May do this relatively daily, may just do it Friday, Saturday, Sundays. That's yet to be determined. But right now I need to go and deal with a puppy who's decided that she's going to go and bark the house down. So that's all totally good. Take care. Ciao.